Welcome back to our viewers in our podcast journey. Welcome back, yoga expert Bhagyashree. Namaskara.
Namaskara.
In the previous podcast, we talked about walking meditation, which is easy to follow. A lot of people have benefited from walking meditation. Aren't there any other easy to follow meditation techniques?
Yes, Satish. As we covered it in the last podcast or the previous one, walking meditation is one easy to understand for beginners, possibly for the beginners who are meditating or trying to meditate. Apart from that, there is a few more techniques. One is we call it breath awareness technique. So trying to concentrate on your breathing pattern. Why to concentrate? Because that helps you to slow down the pace of your thoughts a lot of times. So during this meditation, what we ask our students to do is concentrate completely on your inhalation and exhalation. Like not only your normal, like you breathing, you try to usually we breathe only with the chest. We inhale, your chest gets some part of the breath and you exhale it out completely. Because of again the posture, if you're not sitting straight, then automatically the breath will be less that is being consumed by your lungs. So that's why breath awareness is little more important for general public to understand. Apart from that, when you inhale, you really need to concentrate on the time period or the gap between inhalation and exhalation. So the technique goes when you inhale fully, we don't even understand that. We always take a pause and then you exhale it out. So that is the thing to concentrate on, like how that after inhalation you reach to that pause, and when you exhale again you reach to that pause when you're exhaled out completely.
Totally focusing on your breath.
Right, completely focusing on your breath. Apart from that, we talk about having 3 different breathing practices or the techniques. One is the clavicular breath, another is the chest breathing, and the last one is the abdomen breathing.
Clavicular breathing is more of a shallow breathing?
Yes, you can call it a shallow breathing. For example, if somebody is a marathon runner or somebody is running, jogging, fast pace, so they try to do only the clavicular breathing automatically because they don't have that much of time to breathe in and out fully and also keep up with the pace of their running. So their body is already warmed up and they are okay to breathe from their clavicular breath pattern only. So that is the example of clavicular breathing. Next one is the chest breathing that we do generally.
Practice the chest breathing, yeah.
Right. And the last one is yogic breathing or the deep breath, that you feel your abdomen also in that breathing pattern and you try to stay with that deep breathing pattern. So the idea after why to do the slow breath is, slower the breath is, your lifespan is longer.
Longer, okay.
Yes.
You basically increase your lifespan
Exactly.
by slowing down your breath.
Yes. It also, for example, if you see a tortoise, it breathes very, very slow.
Wow.
The same thing you can see in his actions. Like he walks also very slow. Yeah. So because of that, his lifespan is very long. Compared to the dog, if you see dogs, they breathe very fast.
There's a lot of shallow breaths in it.
Yeah. So their lifespan is less than the
Shorter.
tortoise one. Yes, shorter one. So this is how it works with the breathing.
So there's a strong correlation between your slow-paced breath and the lifespan.
Exactly. Yes. That is the reason if you see people or the yogis who go into Himalayas and they sit there, they do the tapashcharya or the sadhana we call it, they try to concentrate and stay with the deep yogic breathing pattern. So again, because your prana in your body flows very well, you don't even feel like to eat a lot. Because with the breath, you are always connected with the outside environment. And the environment, because your body is consumed or the made up of 5 tattvas, pancha tattvas. So you are connected to those pancha tattvas and you don't feel like to consume any extra food. That is the reason. That is how it works. And that's the reason we say breathing is very important. Pranayama practices are very important in yoga.
There's a lot of emphasis on breathing and pranayama. If someone's out there who's already got an existing medical condition, something like respiratory issues, breathing issues, particularly asthma, should they be doing these breathing practices, and how can they do it?
Yes. For asthma, there are people who could recover from asthmatic situation with pranayama practices.
There's a lot of limitations, right? Asthmatic, they can't do deep breathing. There's a lot of limitations. So it's better to slowly start?
You can say slowly starting, or the number of the counts of breathing practices can be little less. But the best technique they can use is Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing. That is one there, a breath pattern that will help them to do the deep breathing. In case, instead of sitting straight and practicing the deep breath, they can lie down, keeping their knees bent. That is also an easier way to not feeling the harshness of the deep breath, but they will feel comfortable with that deep breathing practice. So that is a way.
They should be doing it actually. So it can better their existing condition, which relates to asthma or breathing difficulties, can get better. But they should start at their own pace and slowly improve and progress.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So are there any other practices that you should be mindful when you're doing a meditation? And how can you bring awareness when you're meditating?
To be more aware during the meditation, let's talk about one meditation practice. We call it stillness meditation. So stillness is something, whichever is a still object you see around, you just try to concentrate on that object.
The name resembles it, the stillness. You're still.
Right. But possibly try to have some object that is connected to the nature. For example, if you go walking in the forest and try to watch a tree.
Walking in the nature, basically.
Yes.
Walking in, like, surrounded by trees and things.
Right, right. You find a comfortable place, you sit there, again concentrate on that one tree and keep concentrating. Don't move your gazing out of it. Initially, you will close your eyes and open again. You might feel little bit tension in your eyes. You can relax again. But keep concentrating on that one tree. Same is with the stone. You can concentrate on that stone.
Any object.
Any object.
We talked about nature, and not everyone is lucky to kind of be surrounded by a good environment, something like nature, a lot of trees. If you are in a concrete jungle, so what should you be doing it? If you want to kind of practice the stillness meditation.
If you are in concrete jungle, yes, in your house also, you can find some yantra or some, for example, I practice my meditation on the symbol of Om. So because I'm connected to it, anything that object is connected to you, you can concentrate for longer period. If you're not having any interest in it, then you don't concentrate biologically. That's how it happens. That's why I said natural objects are better, because your body is made up of that. So it's easy to concentrate on that.
Okay. Now, when it comes to stillness, when it comes to meditation, we hear a lot about third eye meditation. Can you throw some light on this third eye meditation, please?
Yes. This also brings me up to share one experience that I did. I'll just share the experience first. It's very interesting because, as my Guruji told, I tried to do the third eye meditation, and the advanced practice mentions Tratak meditation. So Tratak is about concentrating on a flame, completely gazing on a flame, but the area should be dark. You're sitting in your room in the night time, and you need to concentrate on that. I practiced it for a pretty long time, and then I realized I started to become a very emotionless person. So out of that, what I understand is, what is concentration? Concentration is about you're completely focused on one thing. For example, you're studying and you're completely into your deep study, and suddenly your father comes in and tells you some work. So that's a distraction for you.
It's a distraction that's feeding your mind. Maybe you're not doing it at the same time, but it's in your mind and you're thinking about it.
Right.
From one thought, you run to another, you run wild of thoughts. So basically, you're distracted.
Exactly. And if go deep into the distraction part, you listen to your father because, again, it's relation. It's your father, or maybe it's your mother. Yes. So because of that, you completely remove your focus from your studies and concentrate on the part of the work that he is telling you. So when third eye center meditation I did, I was completely focused on that one flame, and that flame helped me to concentrate on other part also. Like if I'm teaching, I'm completely in teaching. I wasn't able to bear the disturbance from somebody else during my class at all. So that is what develops with when you do the third eye meditation practice. Third eye meditation, what is it? Let's understand. Third eye represents intuition.
Intuition, yeah.
It represents intelligence. It represents mindfulness. It represents your spiritual growth.
Okay.
If you really work on your spiritual growth, if you feel like you're connected to the nature, you want to improve your meditation techniques and gain more benefits out of it, especially for your mind. So then you can do the third eye meditation technique. That is a good one. Basic technique to hop into that particular meditation is, one is you comfortably stand in front of a mirror, or you take a chair and sit in front of the mirror and keep watching into your eyes.
Wow, okay.
Continuously just keep watching and slowly start to understand and absorb how you're made up of.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you are sitting in a meeting. What we say is eye-to-eye contact is important when you're
conversating with people, to
right?
gain that confidence.
Exactly. It improves your confidence. So for this technique, you improve your confidence with your own self.
Looking at the mirror, you're not looking into the eye. It can be intense.
It is
It's
intense.
not easy.
It is intense. It opens up the doors to the positive and the negative sides of yourself, and you really need to check it out, that you did never. And when you are able to see that clearly, then the third eye center meditation actually starts to happen or starts to work for you. That is one technique. Any question about this technique?
It's thanks for slightly simplifying the third eye meditation. And the name itself is very intense, but you simplified it. And then should they be doing this meditation, this special technique or the third eye meditation? Should they be practicing under a guidance experience, and how long should they be doing it? And what are those short-term benefits and long-term benefits from it?
Exactly.
Third eye meditation. Yeah.
Right. So anything you do, overdoing any particular part, any particular technique is always something is not, your body is not able to handle it. So you need to find your own balance. Like for example, it shouldn't go way ahead of it. If you feel comfortable, find your purpose. If my purpose is I want to increase my concentration practice.
Of course.
I need to be focused. When I'm doing particular job, I still feel like a lot of thoughts are still coming in my mind. To remove that avoidance, you can concentrate.
In the fast-paced world, there's a lot of distractions.
Exactly.
There's social media, there's a lot of noise going around, there's a lot of things. And then to focus on that one thing, focus on the most important thing which matters to you, which could be a work, or it could be your studies, or it could be a career or something. So it is very important to kind of focus and then quieten down the other thoughts and noises.
Right. That is one benefit. That is a major benefit from third eye meditation technique that you can think of.
What are the other important factors that you should be considering when you're doing the yoga practice?
During yoga practice, in the very first class, I like to tell my students to be aware of your body form of the asana. Every asana has its own meaning. It's always good to take your own time to understand that meaning and come into the correct connectivity of your body during that particular practice or particular asana. Apart from that is gazing, or the drishti we call in Sanskrit. Why drishti is important? Because our eyes is one of the senses, and they are the source from where we gain information. Like right now I'm looking at you, now I know who is Satish. If I start to look at some other place, if I'm looking at some vehicle, I'll start thinking about the vehicle. What brand of it, what color is it?
So the thoughts running wild.
Exactly.
It doesn't stop. It's just not one thought.
Exactly.
The series of thoughts.
Yes. So for that purpose, drishti is important. So trying to focus yourself on one particular object will be good while you do yoga practice.
Yoga practices, yeah.
Usually,
that's why they say that gaze on that.
Yes.
One little
one
thing,
gaze.
focus on one thing, and then get in the alignment of your body and plus the breath.
Right. Usually, it's important to focus on the tip of your nose during the asana practice. But it can get some beginner practitioners some headaches maybe sometimes. So I asked them to just concentrate on one particular object and stay with it. You can close your eyes, but closing eyes can make you fainted sometimes.
That's a different part, but closing the eyes and practicing your asana, it's not easy.
Yes.
We've done in the past, and it's not easy.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Last one is breath.
Breath, yeah.
Yes.
The alignment, yes.
Correct. So the body form, then the breathing practice, what you are breathing at that moment, and gazing. These
focus.
Three, if they are synced, then you're correct. You're comfortable during the yoga practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people approaching to attend our yoga classes. And the communication is they're already attending, they're working out in the gym, they're running, and they kind of do some activity. And the reason they want to join a yoga class is to increase the flexibility. Is yoga only to increase your flexibility in your body, and is there anything more to it?
It is not at all only flexibility to improve. With yoga classes, you improve your strength also. For example, in initial classes, my students, they feel it's very common to feel like it's about flexibility. But to open up your body, we need to go through those flexibility movements. Like you need to really open your hip muscle, you need to open your calf muscle. Some people are having problems with their feet also, like feet are not completely fully placed on the ground. So that again helps them to go mobilized during the
Mobilized
practice.
in joints, basically. Yeah.
Joints, yes. Likewise. So it's not only flexibility. Apart from that, let's take the example of the Hatha Yoga, the traditional yoga practice, in which you need to hold in one particular position or the yoga asana for a longer period.
So you go into a particular pose and hold it for a longer period.
Right.
So that's where the muscle is contracted. So
Yes.
that's where the strength factor comes in.
Right. Because you're holding in that one posture for a longer period, your muscles are getting strength. Apart from that, because you're breathing in particular way, you're actually giving that particular flow of prana throughout your body. So that ultimately increases your energy. It will not make you feel tired. In any other physical practice, you aim to feel tired. In yoga, you are asked to not to get tired, but you need to feel more energized out of it.
So
Yes.
there's a lot of air that's been given
Yes.
to your body, like each
Yes.
and every body part of the body. Okay.
Yes. This is from the Hatha practice, Hatha Yoga practice. Apart from that, if we talk about Ashtanga Yoga or Power Yoga also now it is in the trend, or the Flow Yoga is there. During the Flow Yoga, what you are doing is you are moving your body in a particular vinyasa styles, and you are trying to again come back into a particular position, stay there for a while. Again, you are following a particular breathing pattern. So what it is going to do is it will definitely make you sweat, a lot of sweat. But because you're following a breath pattern, it will again keep giving you extra energy back to stay on that flow.
So when it comes to Ashtanga, obviously there's 75 poses back to back, one after the other.
Right.
And you sweat a lot. There
Right.
you're like, the asanas are nothing but holding a certain asana in a certain position, and that's muscles are contracted. But from moving from one asana to the other, your heart rate goes up, you're sweating
Right.
a lot, and there's a lot of demand on your cardio system. So that's your cardio factor involved as well. So there's a strength involved, there's a cardio involved. So it's not just about flexibility.
No, not only flexibility.
The benefit is the increased flexibility, but it's not, yoga is not only flexibility, there's a lot more to it. Like as we just discussed, strength factor, there's a cardio factor, your breathing gets better, and injury management.
Injury management also, like for the things that we talked about, the cardiovascular system is there. There's also one more part in yoga we talk about. As you improvise your practice, you can also start using bandhas, the body locks. So there are 3 types of bandhas that will help you again keep improving the strength in your body continuously and improve the pattern of breathing again continuously. So as I'm saying, holding for longer period is not only hold like you just holding it. Your body, the internal body is still working very efficiently and in a very fast pace actually. So this is what it is. And apart from that, injuries, yes, yoga does help you to recover a lot of injuries. We talked about asthma, one illness that we talked about. Apart from that, if you have some knee injuries, you can definitely use some particular blocks or the support in yoga practice, but you can improve on that. We
Basically,
can call
to
them
work around your limitations.
therapeutic yoga, we can talk it. But you do improve out of it, recover.
There you go, viewers. Yoga is not about flexibility. The added benefit is increased flexibility, but along with that, there's strength factor involved. There's a cardio factor involved in it. You increase your breathing stamina. There is an injury management, and there is bandhas, and there's a meditative aspect in it. Yoga is not just flexibility. Yes, it's an increased flexibility along with a lot of other factors involved. Now, coming back to, of course, yoga, attending yoga classes is very physically demanding. But can we compare yoga to any other performance performance-based sports activities?
I'll get back to a little bit traditional aspect of yoga. Yoga is never about comparing yourself to anything else, right? So it is always about you introspecting and comparing yourself to yourself and improvising yourself in a way, bodily, mindfully, again towards the soul aspect we go towards. Yoga, if we really need to compare with the sports activities, I would say sports activities are already in the market, they are in demand, and they have their own format, and it's there since a lot of years. Yoga has started coming up now. There are competitions in yoga as well, but you can't say them they are physically demanding.
Like there is, like, if you take any other sport, any sport you take, there's definitely a winner and loser. There's a lot of effort that has to go in. There's a lot of adrenaline, there's definitely a lot of build-up around the competitions.
Right.
And I don't see any yoga competitions conducted across.
Yes. They are coming up now very slowly because it's a traditional practice. Not all over India yet they have come, but people are starting to get back on that. But yoga can be called as a backbone for your sports activities or any other physical activity you're doing. Why backbone? For example, if you want to go ahead, you're a cricketer. You want to improve your stamina. You want to increase the way you spin the ball because your then shoulder muscle is shoulder is involved. Your joints are involved. Your range of motion is involved. So for that purpose, yoga practices or the techniques can help you. Yes, to strengthen. Apart from that, again, any sports activity, if you see, they need flexibility. But flexibility with a particular time frame, like during one time frame, you really need to move your leg. For example, MMA, you really need to have in the fraction of second, you need to kick and again come back. To kick that high, you need that flexibility in your hip. So for that particular reason, you can use yoga practice. So it can be a backbone.
Earlier in the podcast, we also talk about concentration and focus. So any sports activities, obviously there is a clear winner and loser. There's a lot of demand, physical and mental demand on any sports which has a winner and loser. So yoga can be a part of your strength training program, can be a part of your flexibility program, and it can also be a part of your concentration and focus. And then, yes, there's a lot of modern day athletes have taken up yoga as a part of their training program.
Right.
Oh, nice. Okay. So very informative podcast covering a lot of aspects in this podcast. Next week, viewers, we're gonna talk about a very interesting topic, a million dollar topic, very commonly asked in the current day and age. We're still struggling with it. It's that, can yoga help with weight loss? So it's going to be a very interesting podcast. Stay tuned for the next podcast. Can yoga help lose weight? Thank you for one more informative podcast. Thank you, Bhagyashree. Thank you, viewers.